Howdy everyone. Dangerous Freedom coming back at you from my meditation spot. This one's going to be kind of a somber one. Before I came up here, I was watching some police activity. And I watched a gunning down of a 13-year-old boy named Adam Toledo in Chicago, no less. 13-year-old boy. Him and a buddy of his, 21-year-old buddy, were out playing with a firearm in the middle of the night. Fired off about 7-8 shots and then started booking it. Well, people were calling in, plus they've got those smart shot things or whatever they're fucking called that, you know, they can track down basically where the shots were fired at. So cops were called pretty much immediately. And they caught up to him. And they arrested the one, but before they could do that, one cop he caught up to the boy, who turned around, because once he knew he couldn't outrun the cop, he turned around with a gun in his hand, went to throw it. Cop fired one shot. Ended up being a fatality shot. And I was just like, man, 13 years old, you know, because I've got teenage boys. I think the difference is, though, is I taught my boys gun safety from a very early age. They understand how powerful and how deadly and devastating guns can be, so they've always had a respect for them. But this kid, apparently, in his neighborhood, they had a nickname for him, Little Homicide. Now, I don't know if he'd ever killed anybody. I think they were trying to wean him up to something, you know? Get him in a gang. Which really made me stop and think about the parenting. It's like, you know, these parents are probably going to be out here yelling at the city and the cops and be like, you killed my boy, you killed my boy. It's like, your boy was running around with a freaking loaded gun. Maybe he hadn't shot at anybody, but dude, pretty much everywhere you go, shooting inside a city limits is freaking illegal, because even down here in Arizona, we have a freaking law. I don't remember the actual name of it, is like Katie's Law, because 4th of July, somebody got careless and started shooting their gun in the air, and bullets have to come back down. You know, and these kids just wanted to go out and play with their firearms. Well, they should have done it properly and gone to a damn range, but instead they thought they'd do it in suburban Chicago. Not suburban, I mean, freaking, you know what I mean, inland Chicago, I mean, shithole Chicago. So anyways, I guess the big takeaway on this one is, you got kids, I don't care if they're 5, I don't care if they're 10. As soon as they're old enough to start understanding, you make sure they understand just how dangerous guns can be. I mean, yes, they are a tool, granted. There's a lot of dangerous tools out there. Yeah, I've got skill saws. You know, I've got sawzalls. I've been working with dangerous tools pretty much all my life. But at the same time, if you don't teach these kids the proper usage of them, and if you don't make sure you keep an eye on them and don't let them run in packs like that, you know, don't let them run around with people like that. Because that is just, it's a death sentence. Thank God I don't live in a city environment. I live in a trailer park. Lots of guns. And I also make sure I take my kids out and let them train with these firearms. That way, if ever we need to utilize them. Sorry, I've got a little bit of a runny nose here. So just make sure you spend time with your kids. And what I will do is, I know some of you, the video will be very upsetting, but I will drop the link after I get back. I'll drop the link down in the description box, so if you want to go watch the footage, I'll be honest, I mean, even though, the kid had a gun, turned to a cop with it, it's still, 13-year-old kid is dead. And I know people are going to be protesting the cops because, oh, the cops killed a 13-year-old. Well, you know what? The 13-year-old was doing something extremely, extremely dangerous. Be surprised if the kid's ever fired a gun before in his life. But anyways, folks, I hope you all have a good afternoon, good evening, and spend time with your kids. Yeah, maybe you got kids like mine that spend half of their time inside their room playing video games. Or just go out with your kids. You know, I know every summer we come up here to the pool. So, alright, y'all take care.